So if you're ever out trying to take cuttings, or you're trying to kind of flag plants for cuttings later that you would want to propagate for more elderberries, this bush is kind of a good example of why this might not actually be the bush to pick. And I will show you that why I would say that. This, I believe, is one of the natives that I propagated from the wild here, which in one way is great because it's really well suited to this area. But what we've got is a lot of indeterminate action going on in this berry bush, and that makes it difficult for harvest and use, especially because it really takes a lot of elderberries to add up to anything if you need to use them. So you see here we've got some clusters that are starting to ripen, not there yet, but really getting there. But then right next to it we've got, you know, a totally green cluster that's still ways away, a cluster that probably within the last week or so just ended blossoming and is starting to turn into berries. But then we also have other stages, some in blossom. So, you know, the bush overall, it's got some decent determinate action, a fair number of clusters that will ripen around the same time, but probably for my liking, too many for this to be the one. Too many different stages going on. Whereas if we look right here, we've got a bush that really everything on it is pretty uniform. Even though they're not ripening as early, I can count on this ripening more at the same time, which really makes harvest a lot easier. One of the hard things about elderberries is that the birds really get to them. You have a short harvest window, so if you're having to come back to the same bush 3 or 4 times to try and make them add up to something, one, you have a hard time turning that into anything in one setting, but also it makes it really hard to keep having to kind of time it to fight the birds.